Another day at the Death Star. Why do I get the feeling I'm not smart to be working here during such a turbulent time in world history?
Well, you are a dummy, after all, Ted. But what do you mean? What's wrong with making big bucks by helping suppress silver prices?
Really? And you think I am the dummy here? Just look at what is happening. The United States, the biggest Ponzi debtor in world history, is going to do one of two things. Either default and send shockwaves throughout the entire world's financial system, or raise its debt ceiling and implement more QE to pay its bills.
Why does that concern us, though? Unbacked paper and digital money have never been more pervasively used by humanity. Obviously the system will survive the shockwaves and march on to an even braver new world, with Mr. Diamond and Mr. Blankfein leading the way.
Lisa, in case you haven't noticed, we were losing this fight against the onslaught of the precious metals bull market. Are silver and gold higher than they were a year ago? Heck, are they higher than even 6 weeks ago?
It's true that we lost the all-important silver battleground of $20, but we held $50 quite well, didn't we?
Yes, for now, but if you remember, we had to move heaven and earth to do it. The illegalities were so obvious to all but the willfully blind, that even the good-for-nothing CFTC will be forced to do something to pretend as if they care, if we tried pulling this again.
But why can't we continue to dump contracts onto the open market? Tens of thousands of new shorts this week took silver for quite a roller coaster drop, did it not?
$2. Are you kidding me? Was $2 from top to bottom a serious drop to you? That drop we orchestrated with Mr. Obama's help lasted a whole 20 hours. I'm afraid you underestimate our problem. The Hoover Dam of the world economy is breaking into millions of pieces, and you want us to plug it with our fingers.
Okay then, smarty, but I fail to see the big deal. Go through a few scenarios with me. I need to see why you're so concerned.
The big deal is that there's no way to forestall this disaster any longer. If the U.S. does raise its debt ceiling, then the Banbernack will have no choice but to pay the government's bills with more QE.
How much could something like that cost?
Perhaps a cool $2 trillion.
Oh my.
This means by the time that jolly old Saint Nick is making his rounds with his reindeer, he'd drop a special gift of $70 silver in our stockings. Talk about the stuff of nightmares.
Dear God. Whatever happened to a harmless lump of coal?
Yes, old Father Diamond would send us to the North Pole and drop us into the ocean wearing silver rain boots.
Dear God. I hate penguins.
It gets much worse. If the U.S. takes the other unthinkable route and actually defaults, we could have $70 silver by breakfast.
Dear God. I hate ass whoopings with my pancakes.
Me too. So, now you see why things are looking so bleak.
Well, there is another option, right? I mean, why don't our bosses just force the idiots of the world to pay up for all our mistakes?
Again, you don't have a clue. That's exactly what they were trying to do in Europe right now, and even small forced payments at gunpoint have bankrupted entire countries, and might have triggered what could turn into violent revolutions. Plus, there's another problem. Do you realize how many derivatives our masters created during the last 20 years?
I don't have that figure on hand.
Right, no one else does either. But the best estimates put the number at well over $1 quadrillion. That's 1,000 trillion.
Oh dear.
Yes, the entire world's assets combined in 2007 was estimated at a mere 140 trillion. In other words, our genius employers have auctioned off the entire Earth at least 7 times over. Do you have 6 more Earths in your back pocket?
Sorry, fresh out.
Didn't think so. This is why our employers hate the gold standard so much. In a finite world, infinite money is a huge problem, because with it comes infinite debts. There aren't 7 Earths to pay back the debts. Because in the end, all there is all there is.
I see.
So, picture the world economy as a 6-foot man just beginning to wade through a lake of toxic quicksand 1 mile long, without realizing that the solid bottom is 42 feet below him. What odds do you think he has of reaching the other side safely?
Probably better than ours of surviving this job another 6 months under the employment of Mr. Diamond.
Now you got it, Lisa.
So, can you remind me again why we are still doing this lousy job for him?
Because he threatened to send us back to GM Motors and let government employees crash us through windshields for the rest of our lives if we refused.
Well, after the scenario you just described, I'd rather put my head through every windshield in America than be here when this place blows up. That sounds like a sweet early retirement to me.
Now that you mention it, it does. How could we get fired within the hour?
Let's spit on Mr. Diamond's toothbrush. He hates it when we do that.
Oh, me first, me first.